build process, which we ultimately decided not to go that route, and we're going with the standard design bidding process.
Got it.
Thanks, Jim.
The building's already designed.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
We're
you.
out to bid, Jeff. And now we've got item 7, the Frostburg Business Park Access Road.
Yes. This, just to remind everyone, this project is 100% funded by ARC grants. There's no county contribution to this. And once again, this is a facilitating enhancement type project to provide access to Frostburg Business Park access road. And the idea is to kind of pave the way for the businesses, kind of enhances them to get in there.
No pun intended.
Exactly. So
That opens up, what, about 12 acres or so?
I think about 22, about 20 acres. It's 900 feet of access road. So we're in the final stages with SHA is the review agent for those federal funds, and we're in the final stages of that. And Roger Thomas is in the final stages on the behalf of Frostburg doing the stormwater management review. So once that's complete, we'll be ready to put that one on the street as well, with your approval.
Gentlemen, do we have a motion to move forward with the Business Park Access Road?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Everly, our consent agenda, please.
Commissioners, our consent agenda tonight, item number 8. This motion is submitted to us by our friends in the Finance Office, who are simply requesting a change in the county's asset capitalization policy. This change essentially negates the need for our finance staff to add small capital purchases to the county's fixed asset ledger from time to time. Item number 9 is a motion to approve an operation and maintenance agreement with the City of Frostburg for the Claresville-Ecker Community Park with the City of Frostburg. Most locals recognize this facility, about 12 plus acres. It's Hoffman Field, and so named because it's located along Hoffman Hollow Road. This property was previously maintained by the Claresville Volunteer Fire Department, and with the closure of that organization, the county is fortunate now to partner with the City of Frostburg, who would like to maintain this facility on Hoffman Hollow Road to benefit of the citizens of Allegany County. Item number 10, Commissioners, is a motion to approve a quitclaim deed between the county and RJM SKM, Inc. for a portion of Race Street, Lavelle. Commissioners, in January, this right-of-way was closed by the county following a formal public notice period and hearing process. This quitclaim will allow the corporation to obtain a clear title for approximately 2,400 square feet of right-of-way, where the county has officially relinquished its interest. Item 11 is a motion to declare 3 vehicles surplus to the county's needs for trade-in purposes on behalf of the county's alternative sentencing program.
Gentlemen, any questions on the consent agenda? Do we have a motion to accept it?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Everly, do you have anything else?
Nothing further tonight, Commissioners.
And Mr. Rudd?
Nothing, sir.
You already got your piece.
I got mine too.
Jake, would you like to make any comments for tonight?
Sure. You know, our tax policy is something that started under the last group of commissioners, and I'm happy to support that moving forward. You know, it's not a lot of money. It's, you know, when you say $40,000 over the county, it's negligible. But when you look at what other municipal governments, what other county governments, what our state government's doing, you know, if the state of Maryland could roll back their tax rate to the same place it was in 1991, that would be something to applaud. So it is negligible, but it's a lot better than going the other way. So.
And I do
We'll keep
believe
it up.
that Allegany County's been the only county in the last 3 years that's lowered the tax rate. So. Mr. Creed?
I don't have much because I have another meeting tonight. I will just briefly tell Commissioner Shade and yourself that me and Director of Public Works, Paul Kale, attended the meeting last night with Barrelville Water. That issue will be resolved shortly. sir, so it's a very good meeting, so, and also, Paul, while we're on that subject, thank you very much for setting that up with Frostburg, take care of that field, because I know you did a lot of legwork on that too. It's a beautiful place, and I'm glad that they did that, so. Other than that, no, sir, it's good.
And for myself, spent 2 days down in Annapolis this week, testifying on a number of bills. Possibly be back down there tomorrow, depending on whether or not they have session due to the weather. Probably the best thing that's happening is tomorrow, if they have session, I'll be testifying on 4 separate bills to return highway user funds to the county. And one of those bills is the governor's own bill, so one way or the other, county will see a return, start seeing a return of highway user funds. It's not going to happen real fast. The governor's bill would take us about 8 years to get back to the level of funding where we were 8 years ago. But still, it's a step in the right direction. Things have definitely changed in Annapolis. I think they're changing in the right direction. Governor Hogan's got a real job on his hands, but he's moving forward. Our delegation's putting in some very good bills. I think most of them have a chance to get by, so I think all in all, we're going to come out of Annapolis with having a pretty good year this year. We'll move into constituent comments. Mr. Wilmot. And we do have a 5-minute rule for citizen speak, and you have 5 minutes to make your statement.
Yeah, I'm Kenneth Wilmot. I live at 513 Fort Avenue, Cumberland, Maryland. The last meeting I spoke on fracking, and Mr. Bodie advised me to check with the neighboring states, so I did that. But in Pennsylvania, there is 243 complaints about contaminated water. The state of New York has banned fracking. In Arizona, all the states that people are complaining, and they've had minor earthquakes. So I think they put a moratorium on that one. And also down all the state, they didn't give any numbers, but there are people complaining about contaminated water. And West Virginia, same way, they didn't give any number, but they said there are lots of complaints about contaminated water. Luckily, I don't live out in the country, but I know people that do. Here in Western Maryland, we don't have anything to offer other than our natural beauty. All the big companies have moved out, and I would urge you to speak against this fracking and preserve our natural habitat up here. Invite everybody from Baltimore, Washington to come up and have a look. I cannot understand why we need to have fracking to start with. We need to go to non-destructive, like solar power, wind power, this direction. We don't need any more gas. Talk to people who try to run their house on gas, and the bill is sky high. They can hardly afford to pay for the gas. So I don't see any reason why we should be fracking in our county or any place. I'm with these people who complain. You know, the human race can't exist without clean water and clean air. And this is the direction I think we should go. We should try to do away with all these things that do contaminate or disturb the nature of our county. That's all I've got to say. I hope that the people down in Washington and Baltimore realize water flows downhill. If we contaminate it up here, they're going to have to drink the same water we're drinking. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Chambers? Please give your name and your address.
Thank you. First time been here. James Chambers, 14119 Upper Sunnyside Road Northwest, Mount Avenue, Maryland. I received received this letter from the Allegheny County Department of Public Works. And it says on here, at the request of the Allegheny County Commissioners. Okay? Now, we've had 3 meetings about water in the Sunnyside area. We've had 2 votes if we want to accept it or if we don't want to accept it. We have voted it down twice. Now, according to this letter, we have another meeting, March the 11th, at 6:30 at Mount Savage to talk about the water that we've voted down twice. And I would like to know what that's about.
Paul, would you please, because Mr. Chambers, the easiest way to do is let Paul explain this so that it's correct. So,
Mr. James, how are you?
Just simply wonderful. How about you?
Deal similar. What happened was, we had these votes sent out, and we want to go to once, I'm not worried the twice, that we sent out ballots. We discussed having a public vote.
The first meeting, we voted.
But that's not what I'm saying. So we really never had a formal vote, we had a ballot. But anyway, we sent the ballots out. Big issue with the ballots was, we said ballots that were not returned were counted as no's, okay, against the order. And that was kind of the public works decision. We thought that people would make the effort to turn the ballot in, and unfortunately, we underestimated the number of ballots that were not returned. In Sunnyside alone, there were 16 ballots not returned. Since when the ballots were sent out, a number of people called me and said, we didn't receive the ballot because of the post office. We lived outside the area. So we felt we were not touching, in Sunnyside, I think there's approximately 50 houses. Does that sound right? Could be. Okay. So in Sunnyside, the vote was more positive than negative, but when you threw in the 16 that didn't return the ballots, then it threw it to a no. And we were concerned, and we discussed with the commissioners, we're concerned that we're not hearing the majority of the people. So quite simply, we're going out and talking to each individual homeowner and making sure that we hear the majority of the people, or almost all the people. So I don't see what the problem is. We want to make sure that we hear from everybody. And I understand it's been a process, but remember, having one meeting about water and saying do you want water or not, that's a big decision for everybody. And we really want to make sure we get this right. And that's what we want to do. We're going to we're having a meeting. You'll have a chance to say, sign a petition for or against the water. And then the people who do not show up at the meeting, we'll go knock on the doors one a day and talk to the homeowners. And we'll also go in the evening if we have to, understanding some people work. And with a lot of petitions that were returned, unfortunately what happened was a lot of those were not the landowner of record. And so we need to get this all straightened out. And the simple process is we want to make sure everybody's heard that owns a piece of property in the Sunnyside and Belleville area. So we're not trying to strong arm anybody. Like we talked, we met last night, Commissioner Brady was there. If you guys don't want water, that's fine. If you do want water, we'll be glad to help. The county, it's just extra work for Public Works, which we'll gladly do if people want water, but we're not trying to force this down anyone's throat. So that's kind of where we're at. So, but we want to hear from everybody. That's the whole point of this. We don't feel we heard from everybody.
It does appear to me that it's trying to be forced down our throat. If we turn down their water, we have to pay $90 every 3 months. If we turn down the water. Have you ever heard of something like that happening in the United States of America that I fought for? If you turn it down, if you don't want it, you have to start out paying $90 every 3 months. Does that make sense to you? Does that make good common sense to you?
if the
Whenever
community
you have
is
enough
hold up
water,
on it,
you have a water supply that would handle the city of Frostburg, an artesian well, which I have, and I'm gonna end up paying $90 every 3 months. to not accepting the water. I asked at a meeting, I told them at the meeting, I'm not paying it. And I'd like to know how they're gonna run it across, past my house, which I own the road. And they don't know where the right of way is to start with, but that's another story.
If the community as a whole don't want it, it won't come. Mr. Chambers, that's,
Mr. Brody,
yes, sir, because I was at the meeting.
yeah, yeah. And 46% was against it, was for it, and 54% was against it. That was at the second vote.
That was the one
The
that was.
first vote was on the first meeting that we had up the fire hall.
Right. Well, that was just a show of hands to see if there was any interest. That was just,
No, we had to sign. We had to sign. If you wanted to, if you didn't want to, there was 2 sheets up there.
and the problem with that again is we had nothing, there was no hat tricks trying to be done here. We got people calling in saying they signed the wrong form, or people calling in saying I wasn't the property owner of said property. That was the issue that brought all this to a head. That's why they're actually going door to door now, and they will be checked against land records. That's it. That, honestly, that is it.
And it is going to a head. It is up there. We had a peaceful community at one time. Now we're going to give water. Someone wants it, someone don't want it. They voted down. And so we have meetings on it. Okay? We vote again. Then people's bickering then with each other, which they didn't before. All right? Some want it, some don't want it. The meeting, we have, that they sent out ballots, and they counted the ballots. I was there, and this was what the final thing was on the ballot. Now, finally, they're calming down a little bit. Looks like we're not going to get it. Now we get this here paper here. I don't know what they're going to do. Bring the guns out or what? Before we stop this, we got to stop it.
No, Mr. Chambers, if I may just add at this point in time, and Commissioners, just indulge me for a minute. What really precipitated this follow-up meeting was that not long ago, the entire back row of this room was full of people who desperately needed the water for us to take another look at it. And some of those folks admitted to us, either publicly or privately, that there was a lot of misinformation being disseminated in the community. And I think to Mr. Kale's credit, he thinks just taking one more step at it to make sure that everybody understands what's at stake here. And if we decide if it's a 60% vote down the road, the folks that don't want it, including those people who do not vote, then we're going to be going looking for another community to expand the county's water system into. So be patient with us. But again, there were people that were just as passionate as you are, lining the back of this room up here not long ago, desperately wanting the water. So we're trying to be responsive to those citizens as well, sir. So if you could just bear with us in this process, we just got one more step to make. We're going to meet with those folks next week and hear their input and take it from there, sir.
You got the advantage of me. I don't know you.
I'm David Everly, sir.
David?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Everly, I think anybody that needs water should have it. We can't live without water. We can't live without decent water. Okay? I think they should have it. And I think the county's responsibility is to help them get it. Whenever I built my home, the first thing I did, whenever I got my property, I drilled a well to see if I could get good water. Then I built the house back in 1965. I got plenty of water. I was told that I had enough water to supply the city of Frostburg. And I get it checked every once in a while to see if there's any change in it, and there's not. I get it checked at the health department, and I get it checked at colleges, and they check it for me. I have no problem. In fact, I'd even help people get water. But the thing of it is, why should I have to pay for not taking it? That's my problem.
Mr. Chambers, again, that's not our decision. That comes actually from USDA. That's nothing to do with Allegheny County, nothing. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether it's Sunnyside or Mount Savage, and this is a sad thing. But their regulations stipulate, if it runs through your property and it's a project they fund, you have to pay a certain portion of that line. That's, we
Mr.
can't
Blue,
get out
this
of
is
that.
not a Gestapo country. This is the United States. This is not a Gestapo country. This is the United States. This is the country that I fought for.
Okay, sir?
And I didn't fight for our country to come back here and, okay? Now I said, I ain't a-paying it. I ain't a-paying. Okay? Well, you have to. I said, no, I'm not gonna pay it. Oh, you have to. No, I don't have to. I don't have to do nothing. Okay? At the end of the meeting, I said, did you all get a chance to talk this over? What are you gonna do to them if I don't pay it? Cut off my water? I ain't got no water. I ain't taking it. Okay. Put a lien on my house. Put a lien on the house. The free country that I fought for, it's gonna put a lien on the house. I mean to tell you, hey, in Boston, this country started. Taxation without representation. Okay. This country would not pay for something they wasn't getting. And I'm not paying for something I'm not getting. I have a choice.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Thank you very much.
And I've watched Bill Other Valley, and the spending's got to stop someplace. And it is a spend. It's got to. After 3 meetings and 2 votes, and we voted it down both times. And we're back again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Robertson?
Yeah. I'm not used to this stuff. I'm Tom Robertson, 14123 Sunnyside Road, Northwest. I am hearing about the water thing again, same as Jim. Jim did a fine job representing our community. Want to let everyone know that. And what I'm wondering is who's going to watch the fox in the hen house? Who's going around with ones that's going to be supposedly check with everybody? Who's going to be? Going to be me or Jim or maybe my neighbor, other neighbor? Who's going to watch the fox in the hen house? That's what I want to know. Not only that, why can't we make an amendment for, I don't want the water either, I got the water too. And I have a property in Gordonville, and $10 a month, back in 1999, by the time I sold that house in 13, 14, 15 years, they went $30 a month. Well, it is right now, right? What's going to stop that? When I'm 53, and I get Jim's things. Second, when is it going to stop being $100 a month? Nobody's going to stop. I'm going to have to be a bank loan and pay my taxes. And that's all this is. Nothing but a water tax. And I think there should be an amendment on this deal. If you don't need the water, whoever don't want the water, I want my neighbors to have water too. But people that don't want the water, they should, if you don't have water, you don't think perpetuity. I'm sure you know what that means. What does that mean?
Fun. Forever.
Forever. And that's what I'm here about.
The problem with that is a federal regulation. We get our loan from the federal government, and they say that, number one, there has to be a certain number of residents in an area, and they look at what the cost would be, how they're going to get their money back, because we have to pay it back, and that actually comes from the federal government.
Yes. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. They're taking taxpayers' money to tax me, Mr. Chambers, and whoever else doesn't want that water. Use taxpayers' money. I pay taxes too. Yeah. Believe me, I pay taxes. And they're going to take my money to tax me till I die. That's what's going on.
Mr. Kale, not mistaken, isn't Sunnyside, there's two sections of the area, there's like an upper and a lower part of it
Yes.
that we're looking at?
Sunnyside would be one, but
It would be all one though.
it's the way to serve that area, you have it in one geographic area. We have Barrel Hill, we have along 36, and we have Sunnyside.
But within it, it seems like the support is limited to an area and the opposition is limited. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume neighbors or live
Yeah.
semi-close.
The people that didn't, you know better, they come off, they didn't get the letter, you know better. I got a letter, my neighbor got a letter, and other, the rest of the neighbors, but the people that didn't send anything in, they didn't get the letter. I know people were that.
And that's, you know, when you have people that rent out houses and as you do, you know, sometimes you have people that are there, they don't care what happens, you know, they don't have a vested interest,
That's
they'll just
shame on them.
they'll just throw it away.
Exactly, that's shame on them.
And-
But they didn't vote for that water. Yeah.
That's right, and so that's, I think why we're taking a second look at this, is that the view of the public was or was not properly represented.
Well, if they no, why would they carry it away?
What's that?
Why would they carry it away if they didn't bother to read their mail?
Well, because they're not the property owner, they don't have the sense of it.
A lot of these people are in their 80s. Half of them probably can't read it. I've seen that. I'm not being smart, but a lot of these, you can ask Mr. Chambers, how many people are in their property alternatives up there? They probably didn't even
Most
want to do that, you know.
people said,
Well, sir, this time we'll actually be going door to door.
Yeah, but who's going to watch you?
What's that?
Who's going to watch the box in that house? Who's going to be with you to make sure this is right? I'm not calling you a criminal.
I trust Mr. Kale.
You understand
And
that?
if we were going,
Mr. Kale.
if we were just going to do it, no matter what people thought, there'd be a water line headed up the road right now. We wouldn't worry about taking a vote.
Well, that's important though. I think this, my parents didn't get thing of it. You got water, you're gonna pay for it. At that time, my house was under construction. It cost me $2,000 to get water. Because I didn't pay for it. By the time I got my house ready to live in, back in Portlandville, right in Portlandville, it cost me $2,000 to get water only because of that damn tax.
I guess the point to point out is that you getting water, the community wants water or not. It doesn't improve the commissioners, it doesn't make the public works department any stronger. I'm not gonna get a raise, nobody in my department's gonna get a raise, we're gonna have more things to do. So we have there's no incentive for us to force water down your throat. I'm not getting anything out of it, the commissioners certainly not getting anything out of it. We just wanna serve a community and we wanna serve the majority of
Well,
the people.
look at,
And I think, the other thing with the, you know, it's kind of a question of my integrity, but I appreciate you trusting me.
I'm not
We're
talking
gonna
to politics.
Okay, we're not gonna try to force it down anyone's throat, but I'll be happy to, we're gonna have petitions for sign, I'll be happy to show the petitions to anybody in your community, because you're gonna sign your name and address, and you're gonna indicate you're the owner, and you're gonna say I'm for or against. So I'm certainly not gonna go around and you say you're against, and I'm gonna put for by your name and for
Yeah,
that,
but-
that'd be crazy, so I have no incentive to do that, so, but we'll open petitions to anybody.
Why can't we make an amendment for persons like me or Mr. Chambers, where we don't have to pay for
I
that
think
tax?
the commissioners explained that because of the federal regulations.
Well, you can make an amendment.
It's the same way, there's a playground behind my house that I help pay
We're not
taxes.
Mr. Obama. We don't have a fun cell phone with a pen to make these changes.
Well, Watkins,
I think what we could do is we could look at breaking up Sunnyside into two areas.
The only problem would
Maybe,
be if the lower part didn't want it, the upper part went.
Well-
We could look at the dynamics of that, but it might be difficult.
we could do that, but if you don't drive a car, you still pay taxes for the roads. If you don't have a kid in the school system, you still pay taxes for the schools. And that's kind of the situation here, and we're trying to limit it as close as we can to who wants it is who's gonna be paying for it.
yeah, but we want their audit.
All right, Mr. Kale, next Tuesday, is it Wednesday? Sorry.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Mount Savage, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking
Thank
forward
you for
to,
giving me-
Yes,
You
sir.
have opportunity at the meeting
Yes,
next Wednesday.
hopefully you'll show up to the meeting next Wednesday.
Well,
look for some feedback from you after that meeting, sir. Thank you very much, Paul.
Okay, our next public business meeting will be Thursday, March 19th at 5 p.m. And we do have the meeting in Mount Savage on the water line issue. And you see the press release and look look on the website to see the budget schedules, since we're starting our budget process. With that, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
All right.